Thank you.
All right, it's starting. Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yay. You can kind of see the lights.
Yeah, maybe just angle, if you can you angle the phone down slightly?
Yeah, to get more of the mat.
Otherwise, it seems to be pretty centered. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
It's pretty good.
Yep, perfect.
Nice. All right, my stack of props over there.
Yep, I can hear you okay, so you are all set.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think we are ready to get started. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Anna. Welcome to my channel. This is AWH Yoga. So, tonight I will be leading you through a 60-minute restorative class. I have called this Rest and Restore. And I think that's something that we all could use right now. So the reason that this is a restorative practice and the way that we're going to explore that is that we will be doing most of our posture work on the floor. We will be working to support the body in these poses. So not like some of the other classes you've taken, maybe of mine, where there's a lot of movement, more of a vinyasa style. This will be much slower paced. We will hold the poses for a longer period of time and we will really surrender in and focus on the breath. The intention of supporting the body and allowing that surrender is to move the body into the parasympathetic sort of activation or tone. Doing that allows the body to go into the rest and digest components where you can actually tune your body to a healing frequency. I'm really excited to share this sequence with you. As I noted sort of in our chat, this is definitely a time for lots and lots of props. So as you can see over here, I have many items in addition to just a couple of yoga blocks. So if you have blankets, pillows, a sweater, I actually even have some socks over here, maybe even a couple of blankets, a rolled up towel. Grab all of those items and grab them from your living room and bring them onto your mat because those are going to share a space with us today as we move into this surrendering restorative practice. As you gather those items, another thing I want to mention is that during this practice, you might feel a little bit of resistance. So as you work into a different posture or a stretch, and I'm advising you to surrender, you might naturally have your brain say, hey, I'm not doing enough. I'm not working hard enough. I'm not getting enough heat or movement. I'm not busy enough. It's too quiet. But that's exactly why we're here. We are here to surrender to that quiet place, that safe and comforting, restful place inside of all of us. And I assure you that at the end of this practice, you will feel the benefits of surrendering to that place throughout these postures. So if you have those sensations come up, I encourage you to acknowledge that and then just let it go. Okay, I think we're ready to get started. Again, this is for you. So anything that makes your practice more comfortable, pillows, blankets, blocks, I will be cueing and advising throughout the practice of things that I have noted make me more comfortable in the practice, but you know your body, so give in to whatever is feeling the most natural and comfortable for you. Okay, we're going to begin on our backs this evening. So as you find yourself laying down on your mat is a flat surface. And Though we are very grateful for this flat surface holding us up through our traditional yoga practice, this is a great time to bring your props into the story. So maybe you place 2 blocks under your knees. Maybe you place a blanket under the back of your head. Maybe you take a blanket and you cover your body with the blanket. Take the time to get really comfortable. And then begin to notice the breath. The breath is with us on this journey. We notice as we inhale and as we exhale, we find comfort in our breath and its rhythm. And in this comfortable, supported posture, you find it easier to begin to deepen the breath. And while there are no right and wrong answers here, and no wrong way to do it, maybe you lengthen the duration of your exhale so that it's longer than your inhale. Doing this encourages the body to calm down, to enter a state where it feels safe and comfortable. There's no need to be protecting ourselves from anything in this moment. We can start to cue the body to surrender. And as you continue to breathe here, there may be some activities or tasks from the outside world that continue to vie for your attention. But you don't need to address those now. You only need to focus on the breath. This is the time where you can embrace the quiet and still space of this practice, and to turn from being a human doing into just a human being. Take one more deep breath here. And exhale out slowly. Mindfully invite movement into your fingers and your toes. From our grounded state, we begin to allow just enough of that awake feeling to start to move our props, our blankets, very carefully to the side. Throughout this practice, I want you to imagine that you are in slow motion, that you're going frame by frame through this practice, allowing every moment to have a place. And once you've moved your blocks and pillows out of the way, bring both your knees into your chest. Do it really slowly. And then hug your arms around your legs, maybe clasping your elbows. Take a breath and just notice this sensation. This again signals to the body that you are safe and you're at home. And you have nowhere else to be. One more breath in. And on your exhale, slowly release your elbows and help your legs and your knees back down to the mat. Extending both legs out straight. On your inhale, gently lift your right leg up into the sky. You can also do this by bending the right leg into the chest and lifting it up. Clasp your hands behind your right leg, either behind your thighs, your knee, or your calf. And you can have the foot gently flexed, and your left leg should have a slight activation, but there's nothing aggressive about this. It's a very light stretch. For me, I'm more comfortable with my knee slightly bent. I still can feel that stretch in the hamstring, but there's no tension. Take a deep breath here. And then if you're comfortable, gently move your leg back toward your face just a little bit, increasing the opportunity for that hamstring stretch, but be gentle. One more breath here. And now we're going to move our leg out to the side. So the right leg is going to fall open to the right, but do this again in slow-mo. So as you move the leg out, keep your right hand around the knee and then move your leg if you can while keeping your left hip on the ground just so far as your elbow kind of touches the ground so that you can rest on your elbow. So this is a way that we're using our own body to help support ourselves and really invite a more supported posture as we open the hips gently. One more breath. And then bring your leg back up. And then gently bend the knee and bring your knee back into your chest. Hug it tight. Keep breathing. On your exhale, release your right leg slowly back down next to your left. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So gently bring your knee into your chest, or if you're comfortable, extending your left leg all the way up into the air. Keeping a light activation and energy in that right leg, toes pointed up. And then bringing that knee in just to get that one little hug. Extending it back out toward the ceiling. Clasping your hands either behind your thigh or knee or calf. And then gently moving your leg toward your face. Again, I'm more comfortable with my knee slightly bent, still getting that hamstring stretch, but being really easy on the body. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then exhale back to straighten, or you can leave your knee bent. Support your left knee with your left hand, and we're going to open our left hip out only so far as our right hip stays on the ground and our left elbow sort of acts as a holder for our left leg. Take a breath here and then see how deep that next breath can be. One more. Beautiful. So bringing that leg back up to the ceiling, bending that left knee in, being super careful with the body, hugging that left knee in, and then slowly releasing that leg back down. Beautiful. So now I want you to bring both feet up to flat on the floor, and so your knees are pointed up. So I want you to, if you have a block or a pillow handy, we're going to do a supported bridge. So I'm going to use a block. You want to place your prop or block right under your sacrum, so your lower back and then a little bit lower than that. Now in our traditional bridge, we have a lot of activation of the body. There's a lot of energy expended. There's a lot of squeezing in and rotation and action. But in this bridge, I want you to simply just allow for your hips to relax onto the block and for you to feel, hopefully, a release of that tension in the lower back. And maybe place your arms to the side, releasing down onto your block. And as the weight of your hips relaxes your body down, naturally feel a lengthening of that cervical spine. We'll take 3 breaths here. Your mind may already be telling you you feel too still. You're not doing enough movement, so you can't be getting any benefits. But in this restorative practice, the benefits come from surrendering into the postures and giving the body enough time to truly benefit from deeper stretches. One more deep breath here in our supported bridge. Exhale out. And now activate your slow motion and move your block carefully out from underneath of your hips and place it to the side with love. And then take a moment, now that your back is on the floor, draw your navel to your spine and your tailbone to your heels and feel the difference when the small of your back is completely on the floor. And then sort of release that to feel the difference there. So very subtle, but draw that navel to the spine, tailbone toward the heels. Feel that difference. Now maintain the small of your back on the floor and bring both your knees into your chest, hugging them in for a moment, and then releasing that hug using both your hands to clasp your knees, and we're going to roll around a little bit on the small of our back. So you can take whatever direction feels good for you. And just make your circles as big or as small as you'd like. Just inviting a little bit of movement into the body, and then change direction, but do it very mindfully. This entire practice is based on slowing down. Everything that you do should be in slow-mo. And then coming back to stillness, we're going to move into a supine twist variation. So if your props need to be moved a little bit closer to you, you might need 2 pillows and your blocks close by. So what we're going to do is actually support a couple parts of our body in this twist. So I'm going to be going into the stack of props here. And I'm going to be using 1 pillow for between my legs and then a larger, more substantial pillow for my back. So a bed pillow works really well for this. So you can carefully and mindfully go get one if you need to. So as you move your body into this position, a couple different ways to get into it, and we're going to stay there for a few minutes. So I really want you to take the time to get comfortable. So traditionally, to move into this twist, we start on our back, bringing the knees into the chest, and then curling them over to the side. So moving your legs over to the left side, first thing you want to do is take your more supportive pillow and move it up against your back body. So place the top of the pillow, if it's a larger pillow like I have, right underneath where your right armpit is, and then really, really bring it close to the body. So imagine this is your significant other or your doggy in the bed really close to you, that really safe feeling. And then take your other pillow, which can be or a block or a blanket, and place it between your knees. And give yourself some time to feel what that feels like. And then I want you to take your right arm and twisting back to the right, extend your right arm out, palms up if that's comfortable. And then turning your head to the left or wherever is comfortable on your neck. And then your left hand can really go wherever makes sense. For me, it feels really nice to have this on my torso. And then we're going to breathe here for 10 breaths. It's absolutely okay to shift a little bit at the beginning of this to find the most comfortable position. But then you really want to embrace the stillness. Today's practice is going to challenge us not by the complexity or difficulty of the physical asanas, but by it asking us to just surrender and just to be quiet. Your mind wants to fill in all the empty space with busyness and the energy and frenzy that surrounds us in our daily lives. But this is your permission to find serenity, to just be still, and to just be here. Remember that it's my job to watch the clock, and at any point that you worry about drifting into a super zen moment and losing track of the outside world, I'll be there and I'll let you know. Slowly move your right arm back over to the left side. Take a moment there and then carefully remove your pillows and press yourself slowly up to a seated position just for a moment, and then slow motion to our other side. So finding whatever way was working for you to get your body into this posture. And for me, placing the more substantial pillow behind my back body first, and then taking my other pillow, placing it between my legs. And then from there, deciding what's the most comfortable position for my body from here. If your body says it doesn't want to twist right now, you don't have to. But if you feel like you want to open your left arm back behind you, stretching through the shoulder and aiming toward the ground, and then maybe placing your right hand on your torso or even underneath your head. Whatever is comfortable for you to allow everything to drop down. For me, as I move into this posture, I feel a natural tendency to squeeze the pillow. But as I communicate to my body with my breath, slowing down my inhales and exhales, the body begins to understand that it doesn't have to be in a state of tension. The only thing I'm asking of it right now is the opposite. To allow it to take the support I've given it with my props and pillows and to just drop in. There are no wrong postures, no wrong ways to do things this evening. If right now your body looks absolutely nothing like mine in this posture, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are moving into stillness. Into this comfortable state. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your left arm back across the body, placing it down in front or near your shoulder, and taking a breath here. And then carefully moving your props out of the way safely so that you can slowly bring yourself into a seated position. And take your time. This entire practice is about not rushing any of our postures or the transitions between them. So what we're going to move into next is kind of a diamond pose. This will be a little bit of hip opening, a little bit of spine lengthening, and we're going to relax our head. If you have a block, this is a fantastic opportunity for a block. In addition, a couple of pillows might do the job as well. So first, let's move into our diamond posture and get a little bit of a side stretch in. So you can place the soles of your feet together. And in just a moment, we're actually going to do a little bit of a foot massage as well. If you're more comfortable in more of a Sukhasana or easy seated posture, or if you want to place your blocks underneath, again, this is the type of practice where just load up the props and blocks. I'm actually going to sit in a Sukhasana with no props. Just want to stretch a little bit to the side. So notate kind of where your sits bones are, move around a little bit to kind of feel where they are. And then once you feel centered, take a deep breath in. Exhale out of the mouth slowly. And then place your right palm down. Inhale your left arm up and then stretch over to the right, but keep your sits bones grounded. So even though we're not supporting our body with anything like our props or our pillows yet, I really love to add this into any type of restorative practice because of the space that you give on the side body to your breath. Keep breathing. As you breathe here, just think about the length and the space that you can offer your body. Whenever we think about breathing, we think about breathing through our chest and we imagine, breathing. And then sometimes we know we should be breathing more, from our belly and we should watch our belly rise and fall. But I really love to think about breathing through the side body. If you open that space up, you really can feel such a dramatic difference in the breath and your state of calm. One more deep breath here. How much length can you get? And then back through the center, arms up. And then exhale the palms down, slow motion. Beautiful. Let's do the other side because now I kind of feel uneven because I'm so stretched out on one side. So take a deep breath in. And then place your left palm on your exhale down next to you. Careful if you have any props around. And then inhale your right arm up, keeping your sits bones grounded. Exhaling over to that left side, thinking length, 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 all the way up out of the waist, space between the ribs. And then find that zone between about to lift up from your sits bones and then keeping them rooted down and stretching the upper body over. So it's interesting within the sort of yin genre of yoga, one of the main sort of elements is finding your edge, sort of finding that wall. I like to think about that when I think about lengthening and lifting out of the spine. Keep breathing. Where can you find that place where you can get that extra inch or go that extra inch without pain, without strain, but just knowing that you've gone slightly beyond where you've been before. One more breath. And then both arms back up. And then exhale back down through heart center and hands to your knees. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to move into that diamond position. If you were able to do that stretch, then you're already there. But what I'd like to do is, if it's accessible for you, you can place pillows or blocks underneath your knees, but then you want to have your soles of your feet together. And I want you to take just a quick moment. I'll put my blocks under here for now. just going to do a very little bit of a foot massage. So if you have your socks on, you can do it with your socks on. That's totally fine. I feel like I actually need to put mine on in a minute. I'm getting really chilly, which is good because I'm nice and calm. But what I want you to do is I want you to, from the outside of your foot in, so from your pinky toe to your big toe, and you can do with both hands on each, on each foot at the same time, is just kind of go down the line from your toe, so toward your heel. So just go down, just kind of moving toward the heel, and just do it underneath each toe. And then sort of reflexology, this is supposed to sort of open the energy channels of the foot. Such an interesting area of study. I'm really very interested in it. The feet, so much more we could do with those things. And then kind of once you've done that for each of your toes, you want to take your hand sort of beneath where the ball of your foot is, and right underneath that in that soft spot that where the arch begins, that's probably really soft because it never touches the ground, you want to do clockwise circles with your thumbs. So in order to avoid a scenario that might be like when you go like this and have to figure out which way is which, you might want to do one at a time. But clockwise circles, they can be big or small. And then just breathe into that. So this is said to be a place to calm emotional energy. And I certainly myself dramatically benefit from doing this in the evenings right before bed with some essential oil and lotion. And make sure you do the other one. So clockwise circle right underneath where that sort of ball of your foot is. And big or small circles, just breathe with it. And just a little bit more there. Nice. So I like to do that a little bit. You can actually just give the rest of the foot a little bit of love. I like to do that before we move into this next posture because this is going to be a longer hold. So we have a little bit of energy stimulated and then we're going to really surrender in. So you can keep your props here. If you have only 2 blocks though, you might want to replace that with a pillow on one side. I'm going to utilize the block here to demonstrate what I think is a comfortable position for this. So keeping the soles of your feet together and then moving them to a position where you can place your head on a block and really lengthen out the cervical spine and relax in. You can also do this by placing pillows just directly onto your legs and then maybe even using your block like this. But you want to really release into it and feel no tension. So take a moment to find what works for your body. You want to feel a little bit of stretch in the outer hips, not anything of any strain, just a slight stretching. And then you want to really feel the lengthening of your spine, especially your cervical spine. I'm going to do 10 breaths here. I'm going to be here for a while, so allow yourself to totally drop in. Maybe you can place your arms down on your legs. You want to do something that encourages your shoulders to relax. Again, remember, there's no wrong way to do these. Just put your body into a comfortable state. Just encourage that surrender. If your mind wants to wander right now, that's okay. That means you're human. Just find your breath, and then you'll find your mind. Three more deep breaths here. And then slowly, slowly, carefully with love, move your props away from the body. And then take both hands on the outside of your knees. And your knees don't need this help to come into the center of the body, but doing this way really creates and emphasizes that safety. You're supporting your own body going into the next posture. So we're going to do a little bit of movement for the spine and then move into a chest opener. So carefully moving your props out of the way, move yourself into tabletop position. So in our tabletop, we're just going to take a couple of cat-cows. So our palms are under shoulders, knees under our hips, a light activation and connection with the shins and the tops of the feet. And there's no rush here. These are not the cat-cows of classes before this. This is a very soft and mindfully approaching cat-cow. Normally you do these pretty slowly, but we're going to do them extra slowly today. So on your inhale, belly drops, chin and chest toward the sky. And then on your exhale, bring the navel to the spine, arch the back. And I want you to take each one of these in slow-mo and see if you can get enough. Maybe as you do this, you realize that each time your breath gives you just a little more space. And your body gives you just a little more permission. And you realize that when you just take this time, there's so much more to see. One more on your own cycle. And then coming back through a neutral spine. And then I want you to move your knees the width of the mat and then bring your toes together and sit down on your heels. So we're going to move into a child's pose and we're going to hang out here for a little bit. Another great use for props. So I'm actually going to use my trusty pillow. And if you have something that's kind of big like this, it can be really nice. You can also do a child's pose with your legs closed and your arms behind you. We are going to move into a little bit of chest opening, so it might be a nice introduction. But you can place your props in such a manner as suits your body that gives you that same amount of lengthening the spine, supporting your head, and just folding in. It might take a minute to figure out exactly where your body is. Maybe you look like me, and maybe you don't. but try to work your body into that child's pose. And if a more traditional child's pose with no props feels good to you right now, embrace that. Take 5 breaths here. Wherever you are, just drop down one more level. One more level in the video game. It's a really interesting opportunity to see where your mind goes when your body is still. And sometimes we might not be happy with ourselves. We might be frustrated by where our mind goes when it's wandering or distracted. There's no need to judge yourself or your thoughts or your feelings. Just acknowledge them and hold space for them. One more good breath here. And then super slowly bring your body back up and carefully move your props away from the body. And then, in no particular manner, you want to move onto your back. And we're going to open up the chest a little bit. So, again, multiple options for using your props. If you have pillows, it'll create more of a softer opening of the chest. If you use your blocks or even a bolster, it'll create more of a dramatic opening. Wherever you are, whatever you're comfortable with, you want to place something about where your shoulder blades are to start to open up the chest. I'm actually going to use my blocks. So very mindfully moving your body into a position of comfort. So the blocks have different heights and you want to use them accordingly. Same thing with your pillows. Maybe you put a pillow, and I'll show that as well. Maybe you put a pillow underneath your chest and then use a block to support your head. Multiple ways to do this. Millions and millions of options. As you lay here, maybe opening up palms to the sky. You have a soft opening of the chest. I like to keep my feet flat on the floor and then my knees sort of knocked in. This creates space in my back and releases a ton of tension there. Really a comfortable position, even for Shavasana. Drop on in here. Enjoy the benefits of this chest opening. You may notice that it's become a little easier to deepen the breath as we've encouraged the body towards this restful state, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It really must be working for me to have said that. And then we've opened the body, encouraged the body to relax, allowing more breath, more oxygen. It's promoting a restful state. Something we all deserve. One more breath here. And ever so slowly, peeling yourself carefully to the side to move your props lovingly out of the way, but not too far. I'm going to move into half pigeon pose. So we fold over half pigeon from there, and I think in yin that's called sleeping swan. And if you prefer to do another hip opener, you can always do figure 4 on the back. I'll demonstrate that in a moment as well. But to move into your pigeon pose, you can take something more active like a downward dog quickly, which is what I'm going to do. It's going to be a mindful one though. Or you can just simply position your body. So we're going to start with the right side. So going very carefully from my sleepy dog, I'm going to call this sleepy dog. You're going to move your right knee into the chest and then place your right ankle behind your left wrist and your right knee behind your right wrist. Now, the key here is to have your left leg coming out straight from the hip socket, and you might have to look and see how is that happening? Is that happening? As you move down, assess whether your right hip is going to go onto the ground or not. If not, excellent place for exhibit P for pillow. Also great for a block. Place the block or pillow under your hip, bring the earth to you, and then settle in. Getting some length before we fold down. And then once you're ready, another great place for a prop. So you can allow the top of your body to fold over and connect with something. No wrong way to do this. Before you fold, you want to get a little bit of length. Once you've found that sweet spot where you recognize that you're at your wall, but that you're going to slowly and mindfully nudge against it and get that deeper stretch, that's where you invite the deeper healing. One more deep breath here. Remember, I'm just a guide. So if this is feeling incomplete to you for now, feel free to stay here as long as you wish. I'm going to choose to bring my body off the pillow and carefully move it to the side, carefully moving my body off of my right hip. And then preparing to move into pigeon on the other side. For those of you moving into pigeon, please proceed. I'm going to quickly demonstrate figure 4 on the back. So as an alternative to pigeon, you can always take your leg, so we're doing our left side, so left leg up in the air, crossing it over, left ankle over right knee, and then bringing the right knee back toward the body while using the left forearm to push against that left inner thigh and interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. So you're using your body sort of as an internal lever here. Not the same type of options for supporting the body. However, sometimes this is more accessible than half pigeon. And wherever you are, drop in and hang out for a while. So sometimes a yin class or a restorative class doesn't really call me. Usually want to do something that's more active based or a power class, vinyasa. But a restorative yoga class where we did 0 standing postures is actually what made me start doing yoga in the first place. I actually slept for 8 hours that evening, and I hadn't done that for a really long time. So the benefits of these longer holding postures, mindful breath work, and surrendering to the stillness has incredible benefits. Not only for the mind, but for the body, for rest, recovery, digestion, metabolism, blood pressure, everything. Moving into that rest and digest, healing frequency for the body so that you can actually allow the body to do the jobs it needs to do to keep you healthy and to keep you happy. One more breath wherever you are. And then slowly come out of your posture. If you're in pigeon, slowly lifting your body up, carefully removing any props you were using. And everyone, please find your way to your back. I am actually going to take full advantage of the sweater. I'd also like you to grab a blanket if you have one. This is a great opportunity to utilize yet another signal to the body that it's safe and comfortable. So we're going to move into Shavasana. And much like the concept of a weighted blanket, like a gravity blanket, placing a blanket over your torso and pelvis is extremely relaxing and soothing to the nervous system. If you have an eye pillow or a washcloth with some essential oils, another amazing element to add here. Place your blocks or pillows under your legs. Place the blanket over your torso. Move maybe a blanket under the back of your neck. and find yourself here. Release the need to manage the breath in any way. And just feel the sensation of arrival. We call it a yoga practice because, of course, it is an ongoing journey, as is our journey of self-discovery and learning. But I like to take every Shavasana as an arrival point. Continue to breathe here, and I will let you know when it's time to come back. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Gently bring your body back to this space. Invite some movement into your fingers and your toes. And then continuing to honor that slow motion. Carefully remove your blankets and props away from the body. And then ever so gently guide the body onto the side. And stay here for a full breath. And after that beautiful and mindful transition, place your palm on the ground and bring yourself up to a seated position. And we will prepare to close our practice together. From your easy seated posture with your eyes closed, take this moment to thank yourself for honoring what you needed tonight. I am so grateful to have been given the opportunity to lead you through this restorative practice, and I truly hope that you receive some benefits, and I hope to see you again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale through heart center. Thumbs to your third eye. We bow together, namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Have a beautiful evening and a calm and compassionate week. Thank you. Yay. Oh, my friend Katie said so sleepy. I know, me too. Oh, I'm gonna turn it off. Oh, maybe.